The worst horror movie I ever saw was fucking great.
Hello and welcome to This May Hurt a Bit. My name is James Strayer and this is
John C. Myers.
And we are a horror franchise podcast discussing each film in horror franchises. And today we are talking about Fright Night 2, New Blood from 2013. So just to review, this is the sequel to the 2011 one that we just did, but then not really a sequel, more of a remake of the 1988 version. Maybe? Like, I don't even know what we just watched. Like,
yeah,
so.
it's basically an Elseworlds Fright Night. Like, it's just, they could have called it like Fright Night European Vacation or something.
Sure.
The fact that it is Fright Night 2 is very odd. I mean, this thing very much screams cash in. Yeah. It came out so quick. The screenplay was written in a week. Mm-hmm. I mean, there was a bunch of revisions and stuff like that, but then it was just like, we got to get this going. Yeah. We need to strike while the iron's hot on this IP, whatever you want to call it, because we didn't make the money that we thought we would. So let's spend a little bit more and go to Romania.
Didn't make as much as they thought they would from a 3D movie, which was clearly part of the scheme, as neither one of us really realized at first last time. So even with those inflated box office ticket sales, nope. So we got to go running back to the Romanian well on this one.
It's weird. Like they just kept trying to force 3D on people and people weren't really going for it. I wonder if there's a lesson to be learned there.
Yes.
Probably not.
Probably not. No. But yeah, this was it has none of the people involved in even the one that's supposed to be a sequel to. And with these sequels, I try not to read too far ahead about them that I haven't seen before to really enjoy the newness of it all. And I was so incredibly confused when we have all the exact same character names. And all of a sudden, Charlie and Evil Ed didn't know what vampires were. Right. Yeah. And I think part of it that tipped me off was they know about a new vampire named Jerry. And I was like, wait a minute, wouldn't you guys be pretty freaked out if not only you met a second vampire, but it had the same name as the first vampire that y'all met? So then I was like, there must be some shenanigans here with rights or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I just like that every vampire is named Jerry Dandridge. I just think that should be the regular thing. And they're not all Jerry Dandridges are vampires, but every vampire is a Jerry Dandridge.
True. Yes, I do like that. Except I suppose in Fright Night 2, the original, because then you had, I don't even remember what her name is, Genevieve or something like that.
Jerryella,
yeah. But at least you had a few more vampires going for you this time.
Right. Yeah.
But like you said, Romania, not because it's cheap to film there, of course, it's because the story demanded it. No, absolutely. It's let's ship off to Romania. I will say this though about the Romanian location, it looks kind of nice in this movie.
It's great. Like when they don't, this did the same thing that Deader did, where it's like Hellraiser Deader, or it's like, no, we're in Romania. Like, we're not trying to make Romania look like someplace else. We're going to use what's there in Romania. Yeah, they're being over there doesn't really work in the script or make much sense, but. It's still cool. It still looks nice.
The architecture looks nice. It's just one of those cases of like, if you're in a beautiful place, I'm not going to say it's hard to make it look bad, but you've got a lot of better effort if you just embrace the fact that you were there. Right. And shoot it like you're actually shooting Romania. Lots of nice castles, lots of nice catacombs, right. Crypts. Works pretty well.
Yeah. Unfortunately, insanely cold. They were there in the winter and it was like -15 out, apparently.
Right. Celsius or Fahrenheit?
Yes. Yeah. Both, I would imagine. Right. No, but it's Fahrenheit, I think. But yeah, it was very cold. And at one point, like later when Jerry and Amy are in the pool, they were like, we have to stop shooting or you will die. You will get hypothermia.
And that's a great case of learning that fact and knowing that the director was one of the ones who was actually calling for them to halt instead of the director and producer saying like, nope, we can get this. Keep in there.
How much do you need your blood?
Yes. I can't imagine something as boring as scene by scening this movie necessarily, but some of the broad strokes would be interesting to go through, I think.
I think first and foremost, we should, we're shouting out director Eduardo Rodriguez, who's made a bunch of horror movies. But I think, props for rescuing people from freezing waters, but less so for your obsession with flashing lights.
Oh, my God.
Or your just hatred for people with epilepsy.
Yeah.
Just like I hate these people. I would like to assault them constantly with strobe lights.
Yes.
And flashing other lights. I mean, it's very, I don't know. This has a very like rave feel.
Oh yeah.
Through parts of it.
Mm-hmm. He won the gig because he came up with the idea of doing that flashback sequence in animated form because that just cut down on shoot days.
Sure.
So it's just like, how do you win the hearts of a producer? Say I can cut our already fast schedule by like 4 days. And do something animated, because, animation doesn't take talent. We know that, right?
It doesn't take any time. Yeah.
Right.
That, like, I like the idea of that, but the execution of it wasn't amazing.
It almost fit with that going back to the EC Comics type of deal. Like, even though like they did have a comic book on an iPad because we have to have this updated, Evil Ed isn't going to take his funny books over to Romania in hard copy form, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. Not this Evil Ed anyway.
No, you load them up on an iPad, less space. Says the guy who has still not bought a Kindle or anything yet. So I'm already making fun of something that everybody except me does.
You idiots.
That was an okay angle in, and I thought it was fine. But it didn't really, I don't know, it didn't do a whole lot.
No, my favorite bit of that, though, is because it's telling the story. This time, Jerry Dandridge, as we mentioned, is a woman. It is their college professor, played by Jamie Murray.
Mm-hmm.
She's apparently really Elizabeth Bathory, who's also really Dracula. Like, Dracula was a woman this whole time, which I love how they just kind of like throw that away.
Exactly, yeah.
The most famous vampire of all, Bram Stoker's Dracula, was actually a woman. Yes?
I thought Bram Stoker based Dracula on Vlad, the Impaler.
In part, yes. But why, if there are no accounts of Vlad drinking blood, does Stoker's Dracula consume blood and then seem to appear younger after doing so?
Elizabeth Bathory,
AKA Countess Dracula.
My favorite part is this comic book section is her backstory. Is Evil Ed is like, well, I know about this person and what they're really about. And my favorite part of that is her trip to America. It comes to Newland because she was on the Hindenburg, and it kind of makes it seem like she was responsible for the Hindenburg crash. And I love that they went, well, no one really knows what happens. What if it was her?
Right. It might have been the result of a vampire attack. Sure. I do like the whole, Elizabeth Bathory type of legend. It's kind of fun, just like a lady in a black bathtub full of blood, etc. It's been the subject of everything from black metal albums to, other horror movies and stuff like that.
Veronica,
yeah. And so it very much kind of marries that with the whole vampire tale. Now, like, I don't think that Bathory was ever implicitly supposed to be a vampire. I'm sure that gets thrown around a lot, but to me, it was always just like a woman who bathed in the blood of younger women.
Yeah.
And the blood would revitalize her, but it wasn't, I have fangs, I'm going to drink the blood type of thing.
Right. But I do like that combination of like turning your food into also a youth elixir. Like, It's like, look, this gravy, not only will it give me life, it will give me my youth back if I marinate for a while.
Right. Yeah. The moments where she was all Bathory style were kind of okay. When she takes that one woman down into her apartment the first time. So here's a question, though. That first place that Charlie sneaks into and watches her kill the woman and hang her upside down and drain her, that was all pretty fine. That apartment is different from the crypt that they have the big fight in later on, correct?
I believe so, or at least it's a different part of the catacombs or something.
Yeah, so she's got like two bases of operations here.
Well, a bathroom and a different bathroom.
Yeah. A bath and a full bath.
Right, there you go.
Right, Elizabeth Bathroom. Didn't really go down in the annals of history as Elizabeth of Bathroom.
One of the worst Thomas Pynchon characters, Elizabeth Bathroom.
Yeah, complete with blood bidet and everything. No, like that first time it was actually. I'm looking for things to compliment this movie on, and I thought it was kind of cool when like she hung her victim upside down, drained her blood, all that kind of stuff. That was kind of good, especially when they do the big reveal at the end where it's just like, oh no, she's not young and hot. She's old and normal.
Yeah. Ugh, can you imagine if a woman was old?
Yeah.
Booga, booga, booga.
Right.
Because she's not even like that crazy old. She doesn't look like the witch Haggis from Pumpkinhead or anything like that.
Totally.
She just looks like an old woman. And they're like, terrifying.
Yeah.
But it is neat how they do the one unbroken overhead shot of her going into the tub and then coming back out as Jamie Murray. Yeah. And like Jamie Murray is great. They don't really give the character much to do other than like to be sexy. And she's got great outfits and looks cool. So she does a good job there. Although a little bit later on when they have her track them with sonar, she does it, but it's real silly.
Yeah. The sonar stuff, I was like, part of me was also just as a Batman fan, I'm like, wait, are we doing the bat locator type of thing? But it's not a tech gadget. It's a magic thing. But these vampires, does she turn into a bat? No. Like they're really getting muddy with their stuff here, but fine,
Yeah. But it gave him a chance to do more flashing lights. So he was excited about it.
Yeah. Some of that gore stuff was kind of good. And, like the effect that you were mentioning right there, the production part of my brain took over. And I was just thinking like, as soon as the older woman sank into the blood, I was like, are they going to do it in one shot? How do they do that? Did they do a jump cut, etc.? But good on them for trying stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's some pretty inventive stuff in here, but other stuff doesn't work as well. Like there's a bunch of different oneers or whatever, where it's just like a long single tracking camera shot, which I have to imagine takes a bit to set up. Yeah. But it loses out on things like there's a very bizarre moment. Like Amy in this movie, for as much as she's been in any movie, really has no character here. No. Like she's really only involved at the end because they like stumble on her on the street. Yeah. Like they don't, when the movie starts, they're broken up. They're not in a relationship. Not really there, but there's a point where they're trying to have some sort of character building thing between her and Charlie. And the camera is just like spinning around them. Like it's an episode of ER or something, or The Pit, if you want to be more modern about it. But it's like, this does not warrant that at all. This just makes it seem like something exciting is happening. And instead it's this supposed to be like tender moment of him trying to give her flowers and her being like, nah, no thanks. Totally. Or in The Bit, right after he sees her try to dispose the body and he's running after the detective to try to catch the detective and then break into her house. The camera's just following him. And meanwhile, the soundtrack's like, boom, 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 boom. You're just following him, looking in the door, trying the door. And there's just all that momentum is just ruined by doing that. And so that choice really ruins it. You might have saved some money on doing camera setups, but it hurt the overall movie, I think. Totally.
What do we think of Charlie this time? Now, our Charlies have never been the most... I don't remember Charlie, I guess is what I'm saying. Maybe in the first one, to me, he's never been like the strong point of these movies. He's fine. I did laugh about the fact that when we're first introduced to Charlie and Amy in this one, she's accusing him of being like cheating on her or something. And I'm not sure if they ever really resolved whether he did or not, but I was just like, yeah, that tracks for our hornball protagonist in most of these movies. Like, yeah, they kept that true. I mean, he's just as there as he is in any other movie. Right. So they really nailed that. I mean, nothing against Will Payne. He's fine. It's just fine. They just don't do a lot. This is very plot focused. There's not a lot of chance for the characters to be characters. It's all just moving from one thing to the next. Yeah. I mean, I guess the big difference here is like, spoilers for a movie that you've already watched or aren't gonna watch.
If we're being honest. They go the route of he gets turned into a vampire at the very, very end in the last bit. But that's kind of the only new thing that they did with Charlie. And it's not like he had a chance to, reflect upon his new vampirism or anything like that. So, he's just sort of there in this movie. Like you said, Amy's just sort of there for a lot of it, though. Now she's a little bit okay. So in this one, as a difference from the previous one, in the old ones, like she's they go with the whole painting idea. Right, she's a long lost love, integral to the vampire's plot. In this one, she is, but in a different way. Yeah, man, there is one bit that I thought was so stupid involving this, and it's not just I don't mind the whole character's girlfriend is the primary bait. Like, fine, whatever. But yeah, if Elizabeth Bathory, Jerry Dandridge has to drain the blood of a virgin who is born on the blood moon, midnight on the night of the blood moon. Are there a lot of those out there? Or is like the blood moon that I don't know, because it seems like if you are a person of wealth and privilege, you could make this happen,
right?
Like you could just get like, no, I'm just going to get a whole bunch of concubines lined up, and
good call.
But then it gets even more complicated. That like, well, because if she drinks the blood of that person, then she can go out in the daytime.
Right.
But in order for that to happen, she has to drink the blood of the person. And then that person, once vamped, has to kill the person that they love.
That's what I was like getting real confused about.
Yeah.
At the end of this with the big fight scene and everything. The thing that made me laugh so hard was,
tonight I will bathe in the blood of a virgin, herself born at the stroke of midnight by the light of the blood moon.
How do you know that I'm...
that you're a virgin?
No. How do you know that I was born at exactly midnight during a blood moon?
I can taste it.
I'm just like, well, if you've never tasted that blood before, like, how do you know?
Right.
That
I guess
she's the person.
your vampire sense tingles, I guess,
Right. Or maybe that's more credence to she has tasted that before and has never gone through with the ritual.
Right. There you go. Yeah.
Maybe that's more of it.
The person was like, I actually only love computers. And they're like, no,
right.
This isn't going to work. Yeah. And Jerry in general doesn't make a lot of sense because as we've seen in the past versions of this, like Jerry in the first one, really just, I'm trying to lay low, how to be a normal life.
Yeah.
Second one, less so, or the remake anyway, definitely less so, killing everyone around him, but it's just transient, moving on.
Mm-hmm.
But this one, it seems like she's trying to lay low. She's being a college professor, but then she's just openly murdering this person and toying with Charlie, like right from the get-go for no good reason.
Right.
Because like Charlie stumbles on to seeing Jerry Dandridge murder in the first one, and frankly in the remake. But this one, like, yeah, he's looking out the window, but then it seems like she immediately knows it and then immediately starts playing with him.
Yes.
In ways that it doesn't make sense why you wouldn't just kill him.
Right. And it makes me think of the Jerry in the first movie, who he has fun with it, but it's almost like Charlie has forced his hand a little bit. Like, you keep snooping around here. I have to come over and warn you. Now, like you say, it's like, oh, you saw me? Now I'm going to have fun with you, like in a reverse style. Because
as we mentioned, they are college students in Romania taking a semester abroad. There's a whole bunch of them because like it's like a group of students that are going over there. Mm-hmm. And I love how they arrive at night and they're like, your first class is right now. What?
Totally.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
And they go to Jerry's class, and it's just a whole bunch of like flashing images of like art from history. Like it's the Ludovico technique, but with history.
Yeah.
And it's what happens when you go to Rave University. Because that happens a few different times, but it's then the next day they have to go to class again. And as often happens at school, but then like it flash forwards to the night. They have that class again at night.
Night class, because that's when teachers are the sexiest.
Right.
Anyway,
yeah. Well, Romania, yeah. All Romanians are vampires, apparently.
Right. I also, this does suffer the sin of having that stupid jump scare type of thing when nothing matters, of course, because he falls asleep in class early on. And there's like that early on scare. And Evil Ed, who we will get to, just cackles with laughter. And it's just like, it's not that funny, dude. Your guy just kind of like fell asleep in class. And it's just like treated as this national tragedy here. Yeah,
that's probably the biggest issue I have with this overall is that for ostensibly being a horror comedy, it's not very funny. It doesn't seem like it has any more comedy than your average horror movie.
Yeah, that's true. And I think the actress who plays Amy said that she read the script and she was just like, I don't know if this is supposed to be silly or scary. And then she went back and watched the Colin Farrell one, and she's like, oh, I guess it's supposed to be a little bit of both. And they're not hitting that. Yeah, I mean, this movie definitely does not have that kind of like loving feeling of the original, but I like that heart on your sleeve. But I think we're kind of like past that at this point with this series. And also this is not the era of heart on your sleeve horror at all.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Well, and then also by moving it to Romania, you no longer have the story of like your peaceful home is invaded by the vampire.
Sure,
it's like you're going to another country and you run afoul of some weirdos over there. So it's a little bit more like like hostile in that way.
Sure. Definitely doesn't have the suburban home feeling.
Yeah.
That was leaned so heavily on in the first movie. I mean, in all honesty, other than the character names, this does not need to be a Fright Night movie at all. You know,
Absolutely.
This is just like, you know, hey, I traveled to Romania and met some vampires and they want my girlfriend.
I do like, for as much as we crapped on Peter Vincent in the 2011 one, I do like this version of Peter Vincent being a ghost hunter. That kind of like being a charlatan and being like, I like that. That fits more in this realm because he might actually know something, but it's still his job is phony nonsense.
Yeah.
That being said, I still don't really like the Peter Vincent in this, but I like that change.
I mean, if you think about it for half a second, I love Peter Vincent in the first movie, but if Charlie has an ounce of sense, he would know that Peter Vincent is an actor. So why would he know about vampires at all?
Mm-hmm.
Let's hand wave that away. I don't mind that so much. This does make more sense because he's just like, oh yeah, this guy, he's a ghost hunter on real life. Like he's traveled the world investigating this stuff. He will know.
Right.
It does make a little bit more sense if your Peter Vincent is a ghost hunter guy.
Yeah, that he would have that information.
Mm-hmm.
And then like, instead of being a down on his luck, phony, he's just an asshole that likes to hang out at strip clubs.
I think he spends 80% of this movie in a strip club.
Yeah.
And I think that there is a certain element of, now you guys go ahead. I'll be right here.
Yeah.
Like come back when you need me or not at all.
Yeah. And it also, I mean, that also just feels like a cheap way to like please investors or something like that. Like the same way that the movie opens basically with an explosion at a gas station.
Yeah.
That's like, we just do that right away. I think it was William Lustig in Maniac Cop 2 or whatever. They did that stuff first.
Yes.
So then the people would be like, all right, looks good. I'll leave you alone now.
Totally.
But yeah, so they have this explosion that's like, and then we're going to have all these half naked women throughout the entire movie. And it's like, great, good. This is going to sell.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah. There's like one strip club scene in the bar area. Then it's like backstage and all the strippers are still like kind of clothed. I'm not like saying that we needed more nudity necessarily, but it is kind of a funny like middle ground where they're like, yeah, it's all going to be strip clubs and they're all going to be clothed the entire time.
Yeah. Well, and they did release, because this was definitely in the era where they're like the unrated version. Yeah. They did release an unrated version that had like 30 more seconds of nudity. And it was just like them when she's when Jerry's kissing on the girl at the very beginning. It was like that, just some nudity there. And it's like, all right, this isn't a very like risque movie to begin with.
Totally. Yeah. But it feels like it wants to be. Like it wants to be like blood and nudity, and that's why we're at a strip club and that kind of thing. Yeah, like the angle of him being a charlatan is pretty good. I don't know why he trusted the idea that Evil Ed was going to give him $3,000. Like,
I don't know.
Not that I really needed a scene of Evil Ed just being like, my parents gave me $3,000 to go to Romania on, but I would have bought that a little bit more than, just this charlatan guy going like, yeah, this kid's good for it, I'm sure.
Yeah, because again, it's a situation where he doesn't have the desperation that the Peter Vincent one, where it's just like, I'll do it. I need money. I'm about to get thrown in my apartment. This is just like, I have to pay my bar tab.
Right.
Or whatever.
Right. Yeah. All right. The many sins of Evil Ed. I think that this, and I'm sure we'll talk about it more in the wrap up, but this really does show how important it is to have a performance behind this character. Otherwise, he's just a series of annoying character traits.
Yes.
Or just like on paper character traits, I guess you could say. Without the weird tics that we have in the original one, this guy's just annoying and I don't want to be around him. And he gives horror fans a bad name.
Yeah, he just seems like an annoying older brother kind of thing. Like, and it's another one of these examples where it's, why are you guys even hanging out together? There's no sense of like, but behind it all, we stick together. There's something there that I see that other people, no, they're just angry at each other the entire time.
Yeah.
Ed is very annoying. He's a lot more like fratty in this one than in the past.
Well, what does he keep saying? Like, he knows that supposedly his best friend is going through a weird breakup with Amy.
Out of respect, I'm going to give it a week. I'm going to try my hardest to tap that. Oh, yeah? Oh, wait. Tap that. Free market, bro.
free market, bro.
He's like, free market, dude. I'm gonna make my move.
Yeah,
free market. And yeah, I mean, like that might work as a threat if you looked like Colin Farrell.
Settle down, Ed.
Yeah, but you look like, you know, the bully from Home Alone. I don't know, like it's just
the older brother.
Yeah, you just look like a wiener guy, and so who cares? But whatever, it's still enough. It's still enough to get under his buddy's skin,
right?
Yeah, and you're basically just told that they're together. It's like when they arrive at the student housing, the mean professor or whatever. It's never really explained who this guy is. He's just an adult that's angry at them constantly.
Oh, right.
You know, it's like,
about him
don't lose this. You two, get up and go to school.
Yeah.
Just like their dad. I don't know. But the character's just kind of annoying and doesn't do a whole lot. He's around more than Christopher Mintz-Plasse.
Right.
And they do the, this time Charlie figures it out and has to try to convince Evil Ed. And I do like when Evil Ed and Peter Vincent fight. Finally, like he attacks him in the strip club bathroom, I believe. One of the most bizarre things I've seen. He, after the fight, like during the fight, Peter Vincent rips off his shirt to reveal that he's got a cross tattoo on his chest, a giant cross tattoo. And he grabs Ed's face and jams it into the tattoo, causing his face to burn. But then you get a shot, like the POV, you are Peter Vincent's chest.
Yeah.
It's like a plastic, it's like a clear plastic thing with a cross on it. And you see Ed's face jammed up against it. And he's like slamming his face back up against it. I was not expecting chest cam.
Yeah. We're in Peter Vincent's heart.
I guess.
Looking out.
Inside Peter Vincent. Yeah. Very inventive.
Ed stays human for a good 45 minutes into this movie. You know, they don't do the early change or anything like that, as I know I complained about a little bit in the 2011 version where he gets changed pretty early on. But, you know, you don't get any sort of like developing friendship or character moments with these two at all to make those 45 minutes worth watching. He just changes and then goes to try to attack Peter Vincent.
And then his, like, some of the makeup on him wasn't that great because it kind of just looked like melted pizza on his face.
Yeah. But hey, they didn't go bad CGI on this one. So even all their like kind of questionable makeup choices, better than the 2011 version with the digital stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there's still some unfortunate digital effects, like all the lens flares on the phone, on the flashlight phone, flashlights. That was kind of driving me nuts, and just little stuff here and there. It's fine. It doesn't really matter. But there's more of the issues with story. There's some neat little touches though, like I said, like that weird inside the chest cam. When there's a part where Jerry's walking down this hallway that's like lit sparsely by like windows, something like that, and she kind of like misty steps past the windows.
Oh, totally.
There's also a weird moment later where Amy and Charlie are running away from her and like throw back curtains on a window to burn her. And then when they get outside, it's night.
So I thought that it was implying like they stumbled into an old church and so you see a giant cross.
Yeah.
She gets starting to get sizzled. But then they run away in a cab and she flips the cab. And so it's nighttime again. So I thought that like she just has really poor time management skills and it was morning. So maybe was she getting face roasted by the cross?
Because it's bright in there. So I thought it was the daylight.
That's what I thought too. So,
but there's other weird moments like that where it's when he first encounters her and runs away and he goes to Amy's apartment and she's there. Like, oh, yeah, you know how sometimes your college professor will show up dressed very nicely to your apartment at like 3 a.m. apparently?
Yes, exactly.
I am so sorry, Professor.
Sun's coming up. Better get back to my coffin.
I'm sorry.
Shut up, Charlie. Once again, I'm really sorry, Professor.
It's been a long night.
Why are you at your student's room? That's weird.
And of course, he says something like, we got to go to this party at 3 a.m. She does say something like, "Ooh, I love parties," or
let me join you, young people. Let's have your cool teacher hang out. But I mean, if she said that to Evil Ed, he'd be like, "Absolutely, please."
Of course, you are. Yeah.
There was something weird about Chris and Andrews. Right. Yeah, she's smoking fucking hot, you dick face. When was the last time you could say that about any professor?
It's just, I don't know. There's just some weird, like, we got to keep this thing moving. So there's just some clumsy sleight of hands that don't really work.
Mm-hmm. And then, so by the end, Amy has been captured, and there's going to be the ritual that you explained earlier, in the sense that, like, she has to be drained, but then she has to kill Charlie as well. And then also let's throw in the whole thing that I dislike so much, which is if Jerry is killed, then anybody turned by her in the recent day gets turned back into human. So there's never any consequences. It's, it's fine. By the end, okay, well, first, Charlie has to fight Evil Ed. And that's okay. He shoves a plastic bottle full of holy water into his mouth when somehow he's forced to drink it, and it blows up his tum-tum all over the place. That effect was kind of cool. Yeah, like their fight wasn't that effective to me either. It's the down in the crypt. It's just like lit by work lights down there. Who's down there working? Who knows? They almost look like, they're not quite like film production lights, but whenever lights like that show up in a movie, I'm just like, that was just on the back of the grip truck, and like they had to like they were just like,
ooh, let's use that. Yeah,
we're gonna call these practicals for this scene. But Ed gets just sort of dispatched with. And then Charlie runs into the blood ritual. They just flop around in that blood water for a long time.
It's like at least the last 20 minutes of the movie.
Right.
Is everything's happening in the blood pool.
I had a hard time tracking it. And then I just thought, I'll either ask John or just not care about the step-by-step of the who needs to get killed, who turns back, who's allowed to get killed and turned back at the end. Not like I just sort of gave up trying to track all of that.
Right. Because he tries to kill himself because he lets Amy bites him. Mm-hmm. And then he's like, but I'm not dead. If I kill myself, then I somehow know that this works, that this will wipe you out. And so he tries to, but then they're reacting like he did, but no, he didn't. Something happens, which ends up turning Jerry into like her regular vampire form, which is a lot more monstrous. Although like when you pan out and you see the full bodysuit, it's a little lacking. It's kind of like, not that I necessarily needed to have like a big swinging dong or something, but it's just like, these are just clearly tights.
It looked like a body stocking type of thing.
Medium shots where it looks great. Mm-hmm. But the long shots, not so much. Mm-hmm. Then she's got Charlie and she's commanding Amy to stab Charlie. Right before she does, Peter shows back up and throws this weapon that he mentioned earlier at her. And
welcome to Fright Night for real.
Just as thrilling as Han Solo returning to the trench run in Star Wars. Because earlier, Peter Vincent went off on his own self. Like, he was selfish. He says, I'm not into this. Not a part of your rebellion, kid. All that kind of stuff. And just as exciting.
Like, imagine watching Star Wars, and when Han Solo comes back at the end, you go, who?
Sure. And what's that weapon?
Yeah, what? That guy.
Yeah.
I didn't recognize him without the fuzzy coat.
Totally. Throws this dagger through her chest, which I guess misses the heart because it's not effective enough. Or I guess, I don't know, it's not a wooden stake, it's a metal sword, so maybe it's... They're very clear on some of the vampire lore, and then they just sort of skip over the others. Not saying that you have to go through a checklist and say what bothers, Interview the Vampire, even though that's kind of funny when they do it. But this is just, I guess I missed the heart.
Well, I think also just like doing that twice is a little bit like, are you serious? Yeah. Like we just did this.
Right.
No one knows where the heart is, apparently.
And then Charlie uses vampire powers to either, he just does heal or he heals himself. I can't tell which, but like he stakes himself, pulls out the stake, and then a few moments later, he's not dead.
Yeah, so he's not dead.
Nothing matters. And then he screeches.
He screeches.
So just in anger, or does he know he has that vampire power? Or I think,
in frustration. Being a teen is hard.
There you go. That's just an angsty scream.
He just was thinking of Papa Roach and just let it go.
Yes. And then as with the previous films, just like you're down in this Okay, here's another thing. I just got sidetracked from myself. But didn't they say like we're going to go down into the basement of this old church or something that?
Yeah.
Who's got sunlight windows down in the basement of the church?
Yeah. Particularly a vampire. Like this was not well thought through. I think she was like kept putting it off.
Yeah.
Like this is where I want the blood ritual to happen, but who knows when I'm going to do that. But when I find the person, I'll make sure that gets done, and then just never did. And went like, it's fine. I don't need to.
Like maybe that'll be the moment that I test out my new ability that I can walk in the sunlight and I can just come out of the blood pool and that thing won't affect me.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's the classic tale of the vampire and the ant. Is the vampire just put off what needed to be done, and then when the sunlight came, the ant. Totally. I don't remember how it ended.
Well, the ant gets its blood drained.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All that ant blood.
Most stories in that way in my head. But I don't know, man. She melts with sun power and in her blood crypt, and I do like the effect of where she just turns into like a weird viscous blood pudding and falls over.
Yes.
That kind of worked.
I'm on board with that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then that's it.
I will also say that I like how Peter Vincent is like, yeah, this is over. I'm done caring about you.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
There's not like, you know what? We're secretly friends. We've been through something. It's like, no, I'm still a piece of shit. That didn't change. You're also, welcome.
I've only seen you like twice anyway.
Yeah.
Like once at the strip club. Well, twice at the strip club. I don't operate outside of that. I guess the subway car, but
yes, where he abandoned them. Yeah.
Yes, right. Immediately. I did laugh at that. That was a kind of a funny gag where he's just like right out the door.
Yeah. He sees Jerry's eyes change, which is an effect they do a bunch, but like Jerry's eyes go all black and he's just like, I'm leaving. Bye. Yeah. Like, I don't care. Again, no one cares that Evil Ed is dead. Like, no. Oh, well.
Yeah. It doesn't even. Peter says something like, sorry about your friend. And I don't think Charlie even says anything. Just
who?
Like, who? Yeah.
At least for 2011 version had at least like some idea of like themes going on in the background of Charlie, like taking this trip into manhood, putting away childish things like his friendship with the guy that's into Farscape. And this is just, he's just a guy who does stuff. The end.
Yeah. Woof. I don't know, man. That's about all I got on this one. It's not horrible. It's not it's just sort of serviceable, and it was hard to care.
It's there. Like it's definitely, I'm with you in that if this was called anything other than Fright Night, it's fine. Like it's just the fact they try to make it a Fright Night doesn't really make much sense at all. It just seems like the cheap cash grab that it is. But it's okay. You know, it's in focus and you can hear things.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I said, I think Eduardo Rodriguez is a little bit too interested in flashing. There was way too much of that for my taste. But in general, it's competently put together and with some exceptions, and the acting is all fine, but it's just, I've seen this done better.
Yeah.
But pretty lackluster on the whole thing.
Well, let's honor our dead and get out of here. Female victim, played by Andrea Mihalascu, hung upside down, blood drained. Female victim 2, played by Anna Marie Sragia, killed off screen but body shown. Evil Ed, played by Chris Waller, turned into a vampire, force-fed holy water, tummy explode. Elizabeth Bathory, aka Jerry Dandridge, played by Jamie Murray, destroyed by sunlight. In character names only is this Fright Night. And then even on top of that, just making me have to watch an Evil Ed character that I find more repulsive than the last one.
Yeah.
He's
like a Venn diagram of Evil Ed and that Alex kid from the last Sleepaway Camp movie.
Oh, God.
He was like approaching that.
Yeah, for sure. Ooh, God. I haven't thought of that kid since the summertime.
Yeah. I mean, there was no reason to.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
A weird thing, it totally doesn't matter, but a weird thing that stuck out to me is the moment in the movie where they're trying to convince Peter Vincent at the strip club that like, hey, you should help us out. And then like everything stops in this Romanian voice. The strip club announces like, oh my God, hitting the stage, Shayla Sunshine.
Oh,
and
yes.
You like, is this going to be a main character? I'm like, no, it's just a woman that comes out and that's it. That's like it. It's
yep.
okay.
Yeah.
Did you make a deal with someone that like, no, she has to be in the movie?
Right. I think that has to be it, because it's not even like, maybe it wasn't even really shown or implied that it was like Peter Vincent's favorite dancer or something like that. Like, I guess he gets a little gaga for her, but she's just dancing. So
yeah, she's just there.
Why not? So yeah. Much like the movie, she's just kind of there.
She's just kind of there,
showing up. But yeah, I mean, gosh, that's going to do it for Fright Nights.
For the Fright Nights. Fright Nights.
We'll wrap it up in a week or so and then move on. But yeah, what a way to go out. I guess, I mean, much like a lot of these movies with the late in the game kind of remake, you end with a whimper rather than a bang. And this very much does that.
With just this last attempt to wring whatever life is out of this franchise.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny, like the amount of bullshitting you have to do on these movies, like reading the press, the interviews with these people and whatever. And they're all very nice, whatever. But like some of the things that Eduardo Rodriguez was saying about like, oh, I was really drawn to the script and we tried to do this, that. It's like, really?
Yeah.
Because I've seen the movie, man. But you can't just go like, look, we blew it.
Yeah. Or, hey, I wanted to make a feature film. I got hired. They paid me a little bit below my rate. And I wanted to make a movie. That's fine too.
Yeah. Or what's his butt? The Monty Hellman for Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 3, where he's like, look, I made this thing super quick and I'm proud of that.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
Like I said, I'm glad they used Romania the right way.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's the best you can say for this movie. It's let's plant our flag there.
It's a salute to Romania.
Gosh, I would say like, who out there liked this movie? And, hey, that's great. Obviously, like we always say, I'd like to know who bothered to watch it, really.
Yeah.
Because it was kind of hard to track down. It's not an easily available film. But I know, shout out to listener Chumps Loves Insta on Instagram. He was a step ahead of us. And so I know he watched it, which is great.
Well, it's funny because some of the cast and crew, like reading an interview with Jamie Murray, and she's like, I don't really like horror films, so they're too scary for me. But I went back and I watched the original one and blah blah. And then the interviewer was like, well, there's a second one where there's a woman vampire. She's like, really?
Yeah.
I should have watched that.
I should have checked this into IMDb and seen how many there are.
Yeah, but I think like most responses I've had, like talking to people about this movie, are like, what?
Yeah.
I've never even heard of this. So
when I proposed that we do the Fright Night series, I was like, yeah, there's 3.
Right.
And I barely knew that there was a second one to, the 88 version. I had no idea until I dug deeper that there was a 4th one. So,
yeah.
All right, everyone. Well, we're going to wrap up this series, like I said, next week, and then we'll dive into something new. Maybe for the holiday season, maybe not. I don't know. Haven't even talked about it yet, actually. But thanks as always for listening. Thanks to those of you who reached out on the Patreon too. Like we mentioned at the last episode, we discussed Shadow of a Vampire and Near Dark on our Patreon page. So if you go to patreon.com/This May Hurt a Bit podcast, you'll find those over there. So yeah, we'll see you for the wrap up and then barrel headlong into whatever comes next. Good night.
Good night.
This has been a Caretaker Press production. It was produced by James Strayer and edited by John C. Myers. Logo by Ethan Kimberling and music by Michael Arthur Holloway, who you can find on Bandcamp. Follow us on Instagram at This May Hurt a Bit Pod and email us at thismayhurtabitpod@gmail.com. Give us a 5-star review over on your favorite podcast app, and we'll see you next time.